What is going on, people? Triple M back again with another video. I hope you guys are doing well, because I certainly am. There aren't enough superlatives to describe how positive I feel at the moment. This is probably one of the best tasting humble pies I'm ever going to eat, because I've got to be honest with you guys, I did not believe Manchester United could get a result today. I genuinely thought that there was no chance of us getting a result. I was filled with pessimism. I was filled with trepidation. I was filled with fear. I was filled with so many negative emotions towards this game, not just because of the managerial situation, but just the wider context of how bad Manchester United's season has been and how bad Manchester United have been over the last decade. And so with all of that taken into consideration, I just felt that Manchester United were not going to get anything out of this game and that I should temper my expectations. I even tweeted before the end of our last game of the season, I believe it may have been the Crystal Palace game, or it may have been the game against Brighton or Newcastle, one of those games. I tweeted that, the more I think about it, I don't really care about winning the FA Cup. As long as I see a performance, as long as I see that these players are they care enough to at least turn up for a one-off 90-minute game at Wembley, that'll be enough for me, because I can't honestly expect this team that is this bad under this manager to win an FA Cup. And boy, was I wrong, because we did it. Against all odds, we did it. Kobbie Mainoo, Garnacho, they are the heroes of the day, but the unsung hero, Bruno Fernandes and Diego Dalot, I think they both played well for different reasons. Let's start with Bruno Fernandes. I thought today that he was one of those players that really did shush a lot of haters. Bruno Fernandes is a very polarizing player in the Manchester United fan base, and unfortunately, there is no balance when it comes to Bruno Fernandes. You either love him or you either hate him. It's very rare to hear someone have a balanced opinion on Bruno Fernandes who says, look, I don't think Bruno Fernandes is quite world class. I don't think he's quite the elite player that some people think, but I also don't think he's a rubbish player too. I think he's actually a very useful player, and on his day can be a very, very consistent performer for Manchester United. I think that is a fair, balanced opinion of Bruno Fernandes. He is capable of creating chances. He is capable of influencing the game in a positive way. Granted, he's also capable of influencing the game in a negative way, but today was the former and not the latter. He was nothing but a pure, positive beam of hope for Manchester United today. He was leading by example on and off the ball, pressing from the front, leading Manchester United into what can only be described as a huge triumph in an awful season, arguably one of our worst seasons in the Premier League era. This man has turned up in a big way, and he deserves his flowers. Another unsung hero is Rafael Varane, because his box defending today was elite. The amount of headers he parried away from Onana's 6-yard box, the amount of danger he was able to subdue today, is unbelievable. And still, there are people who doubt Rafael Varane's quality. Still, there are people who try to make comparisons between him and other defenders at Manchester United who have achieved far less. They've achieved less than Rafael Varane's left toe. There are players at Manchester United who get compared to Rafael Varane, a man who has only lost 2 finals in his entire professional career. A true Rolls-Royce world-class defender. A true winner. Talking about a man who's won more Champions Leagues than the entire Manchester United squad combined. And still he gets disrespected. Still he gets overlooked. Still his efforts and his ability gets diminished by Manchester United fans who don't quite like him. Maybe they're Maguire fans. Maybe they're fans of another player. Maybe they're just fans who have had enough under the Glazers and are taking out some of that frustration on a player who, to be honest, has been one of our best defenders since signing for the club. Yes, he's had a lot of injuries. Yes, his availability is not sustainable long term. But I ask you again, why is Luke Shaw still at the club? If we're going to have this energy for Varane, somebody who genuinely is one of the only world-class players at Manchester United, genuinely the only player you can make an argument for to say, yes, Manchester United have had a lot of bad players over the years, but this guy is elite. That guy has to go because he's injury prone, but Luke Shaw gets to stay. Come on, man. Come on. I'm tired of it. And I'm so happy that I got to witness Rafael Varane play in a Manchester United shirt, because he genuinely is one of my favorite defenders of this generation. And when he signed for Manchester United, I'll never forget the feeling of euphoria I had. I couldn't believe it. It was almost as if the club listened to me. It was almost as if the club asked me for my opinion. They granted me one wish. They said, who could you sign to play in this Manchester United defense? And I was just like, Rafael Varane. And they were like, say less. That's what it felt like. And that's rare. That's rare because I don't feel that very often. There's been so many players I've wanted to see in a red shirt so desperately over the years, and I never got the opportunity to see them play in a Manchester United shirt. So many. And Varane was one of those wishes that came true. So much so that it actually felt suspicious. I almost thought he was going to come to Manchester United and flop because it was too good to be true. And no, still in his 30s, with all of his injury problems, he is one of the major reasons as to why Manchester United were able to parry so many opportunities, so many crosses in that box. I lost count of how many headers he was able to accomplish today. Truly, truly, genuinely world-class player. And what a remarkable send-off for him, honestly. Let's talk about Ten Hag, because I've talked about the players a lot. And honestly, Ten Hag is a very contentious topic at the moment. I still think he should go. This FA Cup win doesn't really change anything for me. If anything, it makes me feel happy for him because he will get a send-off similar to Louis van Gaal, where he will get to win a trophy and celebrate and leave on a positive note. It's always nice to leave on a high in life, especially after a horrendous season. And I don't think there's any shame. I don't think there's any sort of toxicity that should be aimed towards Erik ten Hag. Because at the end of the day, I just think we are going into this era where we're supposed to have a clear out, we're supposed to have a rebuild. I don't see why the manager can't be a part of that. I don't see why the manager is exempt from being replaced. I understand the cycle that Manchester United have been stuck in, and I understand fans who say, but Marcus, we can't keep sacking managers. It makes perfect sense to me. I just disagree. And sometimes in life, two sensible people can look at something and have totally different perceptions. And I am in that camp right now. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I understand you. I hear you, my fellow Manchester United fans, but I don't agree with you. I think that Erik ten Hag should go. There's nothing toxic about it. There's nothing negative about it. It's just an honest observation based on the football that I have watched over the last 2 years. And I think this is a great sending off from him. I will happily eat this humble pie because I did not believe that he would set us up in the way that he did today. I did not believe that we would have the bottle and the poise to close out that game. As soon as Manchester City scored, the PTSD came in. When I saw Onana not quite make that save and not be able to parry it away, I was like, here we go again. Here we go again. And I was wrong. And I'm happy to be wrong. I am so happy to eat this humble pie. It is the best tasting humble pie I will ever eat. And the most delicious too. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say. Football. Bloody hell. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you're new. And it's been your boy Triple M. Peace!